It is the scandal that has split the sister wives fandom down the middle. A single, controversial moment, or perhaps a series of moments, that has forced viewers to question everything they thought they knew about family boundaries, fatherly affection, and the catastrophic, undeniable impact of Kody Brown's infamous favoritism. For years, audiences have watched the Brown family disintegrate, but this is different. We're talking, of course, about the viral controversy surrounding Kody Brown and his adopted daughter, Aurora Brown, the eldest daughter of his fourth and only remaining wife, Robyn. The online world is buzzing over an alleged lip kiss incident, a moment so shocking to some that it has ignited a firestorm of speculation and debate. As the fandom explodes with accusations and defenses, Kody Brown himself has offered a simple, yet baffling explanation. She's like a daughter. But as the fire rages, Robyn Brown's own reactions have only poured gasoline on the flames, leaving fans to wonder what is really happening behind the closed doors of Kody and Robyn's Flagstaff mansion. Hello, and welcome to Reality Radar, your #1 source for diving deep into the reality TV moments that everyone is talking about. Today, we are unpacking one of the most divisive and uncomfortable controversies in sister wives history. This isn't just about family drama. It's about a pattern of behavior that, for many, crosses a definitive line. We're going to examine the incident that went viral, Kody's bizarre defense, Robyn's role in the chaos, and the heartbreaking contrast that makes this situation so explosive. This is a story of alleged inappropriate affection, but it's really a story of profound and tragic neglect. So grab your tea, because we are going into full detail on the Kody and Aurora Brown controversy. The sister wives fandom is no stranger to controversy, but the sheer volume of online chatter, the Reddit threads, the TikTok compilations, and the YouTube dissections dedicated to Kody and Aurora points to something deeper. The prompt for this explosion was a specific, grainy, and hotly debated clip. In the footage, which fans have slowed down and analyzed frame by frame, Kody is seen interacting with Aurora. The alleged lip kiss is the term that has stuck. A moment where Kody's face is close to Aurora's, and in the blur of motion, fans insist they see a kiss that is far too intimate for a father and his adult daughter. Whether it was a direct kiss on the lips, a kiss that missed the cheek and landed uncomfortably, or just a bizarrely angled peck, the visual was enough to make thousands of viewers recoil. It was the ick factor, the cringe, the visceral feeling that a boundary had not just been blurred, but confidently stepped over. But to focus only on the alleged kiss is to miss the point. That clip was not an isolated incident. It was merely the catalyst. It was the match that lit the fuse on a powder keg of other, uncomfortable moments that fans had been bookmarking for years. The real evidence that the fandom points to, the moment that provides the most context, is the infamous panic attack scene. This took place during the chaotic and emotionally devastating move to Flagstaff, a period of high stress for the entire family, but especially for Robyn's children. In the episode, Aurora, who has a history of anxiety, suffers a severe panic attack. Kody immediately rushes to her side, and his behavior is what has become the centerpiece of this entire controversy. He doesn't just sit next to her. He doesn't just offer words of comfort. Kody is seen intensely holding her hand, stroking her back in a way fans described as sensual rather than paternal, and rubbing her arm with a frantic, focused energy. His gaze is locked on her, and his proximity is uncomfortably close. For many, it didn't read as a father calming his daughter. It read as a man desperately, and somewhat inappropriately, trying to manage a partner's emotional distress. This scene, combined with the alleged kiss, created a horrifying composite picture for many viewers. They saw a pattern. They saw Kody holding Aurora's hand in ways they felt were more romantic than paternal. They saw a level of physical and emotional intimacy that felt reserved for a spouse, not a child. The online discourse exploded. Fans labeled it creepy, inappropriate, and unsettling. They questioned why Kody felt the need to be so tactile, so physically involved in a way that he never is with his other children, particularly his other daughters. The controversy was born not just from one moment, but from the deeply unsettling feeling that Kod's relationship with his adopted daughter was entangled with his all-consuming, obsessive relationship with her mother, Robyn. The line between stepfather, legal father, and something else entirely felt, to the fandom, dangerously indistinct. As the criticism mounted and the online chatter became a deafening roar, Kody Brown was, as usual, forced to address the situation in his own characteristically defensive and clumsy way. His defense, which has become a tagline for the entire controversy, was simple: "She's like a daughter to me." This statement, meant to extinguish the fire, was pure kerosene. The fandom immediately seized upon the single most telling word, like. Why, viewers demanded, would he say like a daughter? Aurora Brown is not like his daughter. He legally adopted her. He went to court. He fought for her. Mary Brown legally divorced him so that he could marry Robyn and make Aurora, Dayton, and Brianna his legal children. He is, by every definition of the law and family, her father. This Freudian slip, as many have called it, revealed more than Kody intended. It suggested that, even in Kody's own mind, there is a fundamental difference, a hierarchy. There are his biological children, and then there are Robyn's children, who he adopted. His statement, meant to normalize his affection, actually othered her. It positioned her as someone he is choosing to love as if she were his own, which only made his intense affection for her seem more like a performance of a good father for Robyn's benefit, rather than a genuine, natural paternal instinct. It was a bizarre, self-sabotaging defense. If he had simply said, "She is my daughter, I love her, and I was comforting her," the debate might have cooled. But by using the word like, he introduced a layer of artifice and separation that, ironically, made the relationship feel less legitimate and more suspect. Furthermore, the defense completely misses the point of the criticism. The fandom's issue isn't that he loves Aurora. It isn't that he's comforting his daughter during a panic attack. The issue is the nature of that comfort and, more importantly, the hypocrisy of it. The criticism is about the contrast. By saying she's like a daughter, Kody was trying to argue that his behavior was normal paternal affection. But the fandom has over a decade of footage showing what Kody's normal paternal affection looks like for his other daughters, and it is a cold, distant, and neglectful shadow of what he gives to Aurora. His defense was a lie, not because he doesn't love her, but because he was trying to sell a style of love as his standard, when everyone knew it was an exclusive exception reserved only for the children of his favorite wife. As with every Kody Brown controversy, one does not have to look far to find Robyn Brown at the epicenter. According to the user's initial prompt, Robyn's reaction only added fuel to the fire, and this is a sentiment shared by the entire Sister Wives critical community. Robyn's role in this specific drama is twofold. She is both the defensive mother and the perceived enabler of the entire dysfunctional dynamic. When the criticism of Kody and Aurora's relationship surfaces, Robyn's reaction is not one of understanding or reflection. It is, predictably, one of offense and victimhood. She tearfully defends her children's special bond with Kody, painting the outside world, and by extension, the other wives and their children, as cruel, jealous, and unsafe. This reaction is the fuel the prompt describes. By framing any criticism as a vicious attack on her tender-aged children, who are, by now, mostly adults, she creates an us versus them narrative. She and her children are the victims, and Kody is their sole protector. This dynamic forces Kody into the hyper-protective, hyper-intimate role that viewers find so unsettling. Robyn, many fans argue, has actively cultivated a bubble of codependency, where Kody is the only source of validation and safety for her and her kids. Therefore, his affection must be over the top to constantly reassure Robyn that he is 100% committed to her family unit. The uncomfortable closeness with Aurora is, in this theory, a symptom of Kody's desperate need to please Robyn. Moreover, Robyn's fuel comes from her complete and utter lack of empathy or awareness for the other children. While she weeps over the idea that someone might question Kody's love for Aurora, she remains bafflingly silent about Kody's lack of love and affection for his other daughters. She has never, not once, been seen on camera pushing Kody to go to Isabel. She has never been seen advocating for Kody to have a better relationship with Gabriel or Garrison. Her focus is solely and intensely on her own children. This perceived gatekeeping and resource hoarding of Kody's affection makes the fandom furious. Robyn's tearful defenses of Kody's behavior with Aurora, when viewed alongside her silent complicity in his neglect of everyone else, paints her as the true villain of the story. The one who not only encourages the creepy dynamic but actively benefits from it, as it solidifies her and her children's position as Kody's one true family. This is the heart of the matter. This is why the fandom is not just divided, but truly enraged. The Kody and Aurora controversy does not exist in a vacuum. Its true, horrifying significance is only understood when you place it side by side with the story of Kody and his biological daughter, Isabel Brown. This contrast is the entire story. It is the core of the fandom's pain, and it is the single most damning piece of evidence against Kody Brown. On one hand, we have the Aurora incident, Kody Brown rushing to his adopted daughter's side, holding her, intensely rubbing her back, and focusing all of his energy on her during an anxiety attack. His reason? She needed him. She was in distress. Now let's look at Isabel Brown. For years, Isabel suffered from a severe, debilitating, and painful case of scoliosis. Her spine was curving to a degree that was causing her physical agony. She needed major, invasive, and terrifying surgery. This was not a panic attack. This was a life-altering medical event. And where was Kody? He was too busy. He used the COVID-19 pandemic as an excuse, claiming he couldn't travel or risk exposure, even though he and Robyn were seen out shopping and socializing. Christine had to take Isabel, then a minor, across the country for this horrifying surgery alone. Isabel, in her own words, was heartbroken. She cried for her father. She needed her dad. The man who would later sprint to rub Aurora's back during a panic attack couldn't even be bothered to get on a plane for his own biological daughter's spinal surgery. This is the hypocrisy. This is the sin. The fandom isn't truly angry that Kody comforted Aurora. They are furious that he only gives that comfort to Robyn's children. The man who intensely held Aurora's hand couldn't even give Isabel a proper, loving hug before she left for her surgery, instead offering a cringy, awkward head pat. The contrast is monstrous. It's not just Isabel either. Go back further. When Christine and Kody's daughter, Truly, was a toddler, she suffered from acute kidney failure and was hospitalized for 11 days. Christine was, by her own account, almost entirely alone. Kody was, as she put it, elsewhere, presumably with Robyn. He has shown a pattern of catastrophic neglect for his OG-13 children, especially when they are at their most vulnerable. He failed Isabel during her surgery. He failed Truly during her hospitalization. He failed Garrison and Gabriel as they begged for a relationship, instead casting them out of his life. So when the fandom sees Kody pouring an ocean of affection, intimacy, and physical comfort onto Aurora for a panic attack, it's not just creepy. It is a salt in the wound, gut-wrenching insult to every other child he has abandoned. It is the visual proof of his favoritism. It proves that he is capable of being a present, loving, and physically affectionate father, but he chooses not to be for anyone who isn't named Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, or Ariella. So we are left where we started. The fandom is divided. The drama is raging. And the Brown family is, for all intents and purposes, dead. Let's look at the two opposing arguments one last time. Side A, it's inappropriate and a sign of favoritism. This side argues that the behavior is objectively creepy. A father, they say, does not comfort an adult daughter in the same physical way a husband comforts a wife. The back-rubbing was too much. The hand-holding was too intimate. The alleged lip kiss is the smoking gun. This behavior, they argue, is a direct result of Kody's unhealthy, codependent relationship with Robyn. He has merged his spousal affection for Robyn with his paternal affection for her children, creating a blended, uncomfortable, and inappropriate dynamic. They see Kody's actions not as fatherly love, but as a performance of love for Robyn's benefit and as the ultimate, undeniable proof that he values Robyn's kids far, far more than the children he created with Mary, Janelle, and Christine. Side B. It's a father's love and trauma bonding. This side argues that the creepy narrative is a gross misinterpretation by a hateful fandom. They argue that Aurora was having a severe medical event, a panic attack, and Kody, as a loving father, did what he had to do to ground her and bring her back. He was in dad mode, and the physical comfort was necessary and not at all sexual. This side posits that Robyn's children are more bonded to Kody because they chose him. They were victims of a toxic situation with their biological father, and Kody saved them. This shared trauma, they argue, creates a different, perhaps more intense, bond. The criticism from this perspective is just jealous lashing out from the other wives and children and their fans, who can't stand to see Kody finally happy in a functional family unit. Our conclusion: while both sides can be argued, the evidence of Kody's own actions makes it's just a father's love defense almost impossible to swallow. The real controversy, the real ick factor, is not the act itself, but the hypocrisy of the act. If Kody Brown had flown across the country for Isabel's surgery, if he had held her hand and told her it would be okay, if he had ever shown that level of devotion to any of his other 13 children, then no one would have blinked an eye at the Aurora incident. It would have been seen as Kody being a good dad. But he hasn't. He didn't. He failed. Kody's defense of "she's like a daughter" is the ultimate cell phone. He was trying to say his actions were normal, but all he did was confirm what the fandom already knew, that in Kody's world, there are the children he has, and then there are the children he wants. And he will move heaven and earth to comfort one, while he won't even cross the street to comfort the others. The entire facade of their miserable monogamy was shattered in a recent episode of Sister Wives, during one of the couple's trademark self-filmed couch sessions. Kody, looking both smug and exhausted, drops the bomb on Robyn. He's been receiving letters, not just from fans, but from women, plural, who have watched his life implode and have somehow come to the conclusion that they are the answer. Kody reveals he's received a lot of letters from women asking him to reconsider plural marriage. He even details one specific email that he presented to Robyn. This woman wasn't just a casual admirer, she was an applicant. She reportedly chastised Kody for his decision to quit plural marriage, essentially scolding him for giving up on the principle, and then made her pitch. She wanted to get to know both of them for the express purpose of joining the family. Let's pause and absorb the sheer audacity. This woman, and apparently others like her, watched Kody emotionally and logistically abandon 3 wives, wage psychological warfare on his own children, and preside over the complete financial and spiritual collapse of his family, and they thought to themselves, yes, that's the man for me. Sign me up. Kody, for his part, admits to Robyn that the attention is flattering. He asks, who doesn't like a little bit of attention? But he quickly tries to wave it off, telling Robyn that it's all just craziness and a craziness that I don't want to indulge. But his initial flattery, his decision to bring this up to Robyn at all, proves that a part of him is entertaining the fantasy. He wanted to see how she would react. And her reaction is perhaps the most telling and most tragic part of this entire story. Robyn's response to the new wife application was a masterclass in contradiction, revealing the deep, unresolved war raging inside her. Her dream of a perfect, functioning plural family has died, but the fantasy of it is clearly still on life support. Her first, immediate reaction wasn't joy or excitement. It was anger, but not for the reason you'd think. She was furious about the protocol. In a confessional, Robyn states, I find it very inappropriate that they would send it to Kody. Why? Because in her version of a functional polygamous family, the new wife must go through the sister wives. You have to go through, at least one. She was insulted not by the offer, but by the fact that this new applicant had skipped the gatekeeper, her. But then the mask slips. After establishing her authority, Robyn admits something stunning. She confesses that for a split second, her heart leaped. For a split second, I think, oh, wouldn't this be great? This is what I've always wanted for my life. This admission is devastating. It confirms what critics have said for years. Robyn never wanted the reality of plural marriage that Christine, Janelle, and Mary lived. She wanted her dream of it, and in her mind, the original 3 wives were a failed experiment. This split second proves she still believes that if only they could find the right kind of woman, a woman presumably just like her, the fantasy could work. This fantasy, however, was immediately followed by her now infamous, bizarre justification for why women are pursuing her husband. In a moment of supreme cringe, Robyn declared, "When a young woman sees a married, stable man, that is attractive. He's figured out some of his bullcrap. He's got a wife that's happy and he knows how to be a dad. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's going to make any girl's eggs drop." This new wife conversation didn't end with the email. It forced the couple to actually discuss the logistics, and Kody, in his infinite self-awareness, revealed the shallow truth. The fantasy of a new wife had nothing to do with faith, family, or the principle. In an exclusive clip, Kody and Robyn debate the risk of adding someone new. They agree their current relationship is special and not worth risking. But then Kody reveals what his primary motivation would be for bringing in a new woman, and it's not spiritual. He confesses, "I'm afraid at this state in my life, it would be just how good-looking she is." I'm not kidding. The admission was so blunt, so purely carnal, that it even shocked Robyn. She immediately fires back, and that would be the very worst reason. In her confessional, Robyn was even more blunt, signed to the camera that Kody was just kind of being a bit of a pig right now. And there it is. The man who spent 3 decades preaching that plural marriage was a divine calling, a refining fire for the soul, and a path to celestial glory, finally admits that, at 56 years old, after 18 children and 4 failed marriages, his only remaining motivation for it is physical attraction. He's not looking for a sister wife. He's not looking for a co-parent. He's looking for a trophy. And in that one confession, Kody retroactively validated every single criticism his ex-wives ever levied against him. And here is the grand, tragic irony that hangs over this entire saga. While Kody and Robyn are entertaining these split-second fantasies of new, beautiful, adoring wives, their actual, real-life monogamous marriage is an abject disaster. The show's recent seasons have been a brutal portrait of a relationship in collapse. Fans have flooded social media, pointing out that Robyn appears unhappy, miserable, and has lost interest. Kody himself has whined on camera that he feels devalued by his ex-wife's departures and fears Robyn doesn't want him anymore, big paragraph style, but it was Robyn herself who delivered the final, fatal diagnosis of their so-called soulmate connection. In a tearful confessional, she admitted, "We're probably doing the worst we've ever done in our marriage." She confessed that she is constantly on her toes, trying to make sure Kody doesn't sabotage their last remaining relationship. And in her most pitiful moment, reflecting on Christine, Janelle, and Mary all moving on and finding happiness, Robyn Brown, the winner, the favorite wife, looked into the camera and said, "They're all moving on. I feel like the idiot that got left behind." So while women from all over the country are writing emails, dreaming of joining the Brown family, the actual matriarch of that family is admitting she's the idiot who got left behind in a failing marriage, stuck with a pig who only wants a new wife if she's good-looking. In the end, Kody and Robyn are prisoners. They are prisoners of the plural fantasy that Robyn can't let go of, and Kody isn't man enough to truly live. He has officially publicly stated hell no to ever trying plural marriage again, calling it a failure and admitting he is not an advocate for it. He is committed to monogamy. And yet, the emails keep coming. These women aren't just writing to Kody. They are writing to a ghost. They are applying for a job that no longer exists, in a company that has already gone bankrupt. The tragic truth is that Kody and Robyn need these emails. They need the fantasy that other women want them, because it's the only thing distracting them from the bitter reality that after all this time, after all the destruction, they might not even want each other. Robyn Brown touts husband Kody's allegedly appealing traits, says, Sister Wives star would make any girl's eggs drop. On Sunday's episode of Sister Wives, Robyn Brown went full fangirl over her husband Kody, while arguing that the thrice-divorced failed father of 18 has a lot to offer prospective wives. Robyn shared her scalding hot take as she and Kody discussed the possibility of re-entering plural marriage, a topic that came up after Kody revealed to Robyn that he had received another email from a woman claiming she was interested in joining the family. Although Robyn told viewers she found it very inappropriate that a woman would go hitting on a guy like Kody instead of going through his spouses, she noted that Kody has a lot of traits that any woman would find appealing. When a young woman sees a married, stable man, that is attractive, you know? Robyn said. He's figured out some of his bullcrap, he's got a wife that's happy, and he knows how to be a dad. Robyn went on to claim that the mere sight of her husband would make any fertile woman want to reproduce with him, or something. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but that's gonna make any girl's eggs drop. Robyn boasted. I mean, like, any young woman would be like, oh, he is marriageable material, 'cause he is already married. As longtime fans of Sister Wives know, Robyn was in her early 30s when she married a then 40-year-old Kody in 2010. At the time, Kody was already married to wives Mary, Janelle, and Christine, and a father of 13. On Sunday's episode, Kody told Robyn that he didn't respond to the email he'd received from the allegedly interested woman, though he did admit to viewers that he didn't mind the attention. Shocker. But at the same time, it's like, that's a craziness that I don't want to indulge, he said, later telling Robyn that he'd prefer not to know if a woman has a crush on him, even if it does make him feel special. Meanwhile, Robyn revealed that hearing about the email from the prospective sister wife made her briefly consider giving plural marriage another go. However, she ultimately told Kody at the end of the episode that she was so scared of plural marriage now that she didn't know how she would consider it at this point.